now that the bin project is pretty much wrapping up, electricians are here today putting on the finishing touches. I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up some of the stuff that we took down off the bins and get that cleaned up out of the yard. Here's the two big items we have left. This is a 50-foot long 8-inch grain auger that I'm trying to sell on Facebook Marketplace. I've had a couple people message me, but no one's real serious about it yet. And then this one is a 20-foot long 8-inch auger that is sold. The guy's just waiting to come when he's got some time to pick that one up, and that'll be out of the way. But I'm working on trying to clean up all these miscellaneous ends, small pieces that we cut down off the pipes, trying to figure out what we're gonna do with them. One of the bigger things here, this used to hold the auger on top of our old dry bin, so I got the torch out. I'm gonna chop this down, chop up that other one. I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do here on some of these spouts yet, whether I'm gonna keep them or get rid of them. But for the meantime, I'll think about that while I'm chopping this thing down. Only got to use the acetylene torch for about 15 minutes, and we ran out of oxygen, so I grabbed our grinder with our diamond cut blade, and hopefully this will do the trick. That way I don't gotta go run into town and grab some oxygen. This will be my get by, so I'm just gonna keep running with this grinder and the blade. Well, the battery operated one didn't last very long, so I got the corded grinder here, carried everything over to the shed. We're gonna give this a shot. If not, I might just say screw it and throw all the rest of that angle iron piece into the junk pile and get rid of it all. Well, bad news. That grinder idea that I got right here, that ain't gonna work either, because this grinder doesn't work. I asked Dad when I took it out, and he goes, oh, well, that don't work. So I'm not sure why we held on to a grinder that don't work, but today's the day this grinder's leaving the farm. I'm gonna throw it in the dumpster next time I get over to Menards or Runnings, get myself a new one. But that means we're back to the acetylene torch. Since we're out of oxygen, we're gonna have to run into town, refill that oxygen tank, then come back. Hopefully have enough time to make it to the dump today, but we'll see. Well, at least it was a simple fix. They helped me. We quick popped on a new oxygen tank, started it up, things looked perfect. So got that new oxygen tank on there, cost me $30. Now heading back to the farm, that way I can chop up that metal. Let's give this a go again. Should be a lot easier now with the new oxygen tank. That way we should be able to cut through this stuff just like cutting through butter. That should be it for the acetylene torch. Now I just gotta pick everything up, load it in the back of the truck, and head up to the recycling place. In addition to, we also have this chemical tote that we fill with all of our scrap iron, such as some ripper points, stuff off the bin project from this summer. Here's something off the field cultivator. So this is our scrap iron bin. I'm also gonna be grabbing the forklift. That way this can get emptied out before this fall and bring this into town on the same trip. Now that that's loaded, we're heading to the other side of the yard to grab those scrap pieces that I just cut up. I'm gonna keep some of them down in our scrap shed, and small pieces that I cut off, those are going to town. There we go, we're all loaded up. We got the crate of all of our miscellaneous scrap iron. Then I squeezed in these tubings off of the leg here. This one fit just perfectly. So next stop is gonna be the recycling facility. Made it to the recycling facility. This works a lot like how hauling grain is, where I pull up on a scale, they get a gross weight, I go unload and get a net weight. But first things first, I'm gonna jump into the office, tell them what I got on this load, get the paperwork, and they're gonna get my weight. They got my gross weight, now I'm gonna head back to gate 4 and they're gonna offload everything from there. Hopefully gonna pull $100 out of this trip, but I never really know what the price of iron is moving every day and what it could bring, so hope for $100. We'll head on in and see what we get. Final total pounds that we had on that load was 920 pounds. I checked on the board, they were paying 95 bucks a ton for unprepared steel, so that meant we got cut a check, which we have in the truck now, for just under $45. So we'll bring this back home and get it unloaded. Here's where I'm going to put that angle iron that I spent a lot of time today saving. This is kind of our catch-all place for everything we're not 100% sure what to do with at the time, so it's just on the edge of one of our fields, so I'm just going to put that angle iron right there for now. I figured since I'm already here, I should go into this field to see how things are coming along in this cornfield. This is DKC 5218. This is right around our pond, so if you've seen my previous video farming around a pond, this is that field. So let's step on in here and see what things are looking like. First thing I'm noticing in the field is these bottom leaves are starting to shrivel up and die. We got less than 2 inches of rain for the whole month of July and just caught a 2.5-inch rain here this weekend, the first full week of August. Here's the first ear I picked. Things were definitely dry, as you can tell, through July because we had a lot of tip back on the ear and a lot of the kernels didn't begin to fill out. I'll keep going in this field and see if we can find where it improves, but things are definitely dry in this part of the field. Here we are in a different spot of the field. One thing I want to check now that I learned last week at the Ag PhD Farm Show hosted by the Hefty Brothers is if you count down from the flag leaf, which is the top leaf of the plant, count down 7, and if that's where your ear lies, that means it is the optimal ear that the plant grows. So that is the most yield you could put on that plant if this is the year that it chooses to produce. So let's count on this plant from the flag leaf down to see if this ear lies on the 7th leaf down from the flag. So here's the flag leaf, so that's number 1. Here's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So what that means, based off what I learned from Greg Sauter, the founder of Precision Planting and who now works at Yield 360, is this plant was lacking something along its life cycle. And if I were guessing on this field with the light soils we have, that'd be moisture. But just looking across the rest of the plants, a lot of them are on. The ear is on leaf number 7, so this is just an anomaly in this spot, but it definitely is a sign of drought that we had here this summer. It's crazy to me to look at this field that had 2.5 inches of rain this weekend, and I just walked through and then look at my boots and see that there is absolutely no mud sticking to them. That's a sign of how dry we were, especially in this area and moving across to many of our other fields for this growing season. Well, today I made $45 in scrap metal, but it took me a whole lot more, and it cost me 30 bucks just alone in oxygen, so probably didn't come out money ahead. But at least I got things picked up, tidied away, saved some of that extra scrap iron just in case when I'm welding down the road I got a couple spare pieces to work with. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Thanks so much everyone for watching, and we'll see ya in the next one.